The Alliance World Fellowship organizes a quadrennial convocation every 4 years, of course. And during our last quadrennial convocation in Santiago, Chile in 2008, as fellowship, we decided that we want to follow the program of Paul in our days. Now, Paul set as his program that he wanted to reach those regions where the name of Christ is not yet known. Romans 15, verse 20. And as Alliance World Fellowship, we said that's what we want in our days. We want to reach out to those who do not yet know the name of Christ, where Christ is not preached. When you look at the world map, it's obvious that the majority of those people, unreached people, you can find them in the area roughly from West Africa, Middle East into Central Asia. That's the most unreached region. In the Alliance World Fellowship, we have 5 world regions: North America, South America, Africa, and so on. We realize that none of these 5 regions alone is able to make a serious impact in that area that I just mentioned, from, let's say, Morocco into Central Asia. We realize that in order to have a significant impact there for the gospel, we need to collaborate. And as 5 world regions, we decided to call that region the 6th region. And we call on all 5 regions to collaborate together in order to reach that 6th region for Christ. Well, when you think about numbers, you can play a lot with that, and I like to do that. You know, when you talk about 6, we always know that, biblically speaking, it should be followed by 7. God created the world in 6 days, and then the 7th came. That was the day of rest. You know, again, this is just a play with figures, but I like it anyway. You know, when we have reached, as 5 regions, the 6th region, when the unreached regions or nations are reached, then the 7th region will come, the kingdom of God. Well, you may like it or not. I like it. I like to think in, or based on Matthew 24:14, on the promise of Christ that yes, when we reach those nations, the kingdom of God will come. So as 5 world regions in our Alliance World Fellowship, let's collaborate to reach the 6th region.
So how is Alliance World Fellowship trying to do that? What talk about these trips?
As Alliance World Fellowship, we feel it is our obligation to motivate our national churches to be engaged in missions. It's in our Alliance DNA. And we try to help each other in making it practical, making it work. It all starts by being well informed and knowing what the real needs are. And for that reason, we organize vision trips for church leaders. We've done this a few times now, and we've seen the benefit of it. You know, it's one thing to hear about a people group that is not reached yet with the gospel. It's another thing to go there and see real people bowing down for idols or going to worship in places where Christ is not proclaimed. Seeing those people, talking with these people, being in that area. For that reason, we take church leaders into the 6th region. We have done this now in a few countries, and we have seen that church leaders from different countries have come back from these kind of trips where they interacted with the few Christians in that area, where they heard the cry for help, where they saw the needy people, that they went back as missions mobilizers in their own churches. So that's why we are motivated to continue to organize these kind of vision trips.
Okay, and then just finally that last, the regional gatherings. What's that about? What's the cost of that?
In our 5 world regions, we organize regional conferences where we get all the national leaders together. These conferences have proven to be a very effective tool for the national leaders to be trained. We have training sessions during those gatherings. It's very good for the national leaders to just interact with each other, to hear about the problems that they are facing in other countries, or learn from each other how do you cope with that and all that. But it's also an instrument to mobilize them for missions, and we get also the missions directors of the national countries together during those regional conferences. So it works very well for their own country in learning from others, but also to reach out to the unreached areas in the world. It's interesting for me that I just read in a biography of L.L. King, an important man in the history of our movement, and he organized in the 50s an international gathering in Bangkok for the Asian churches. And it's kind of interesting to read in his biography how excited he was about the results of that meeting. And he said, I would not know of a better instrument for national leaders to learn indigenous methods of church planting than getting them together in a regional conference. I've seen that happen in some of our conferences. And again, the other element is also the missions stimulus that comes with these regional conferences. They're absolutely key in our movement.